Man, we're live. Wow, I didn't realize that. Huh. Sorry about that. Shoot. Good evening, people. Happy Wow Wednesday.
What does Wow Wednesday stand for?
Well, it's Wow Wednesday.
So it says it has Wednesday has a W in it?
Sure, why not? Bless you. And with it being Wow Wednesday, we've got a wow and a half today. I found out last night that I should have tried and start paying more attention to my spam folder. I didn't realize my spam folder didn't, had some important stuff in it.
Are you talking about yesterday when the cop stopped you?
No, go away. We don't need to talk about that.
What is it we're talking about? I don't understand.
We're talking about the spam folder. And a wow. See, there's a moment in every leader's life when you realize your influence is no longer just inspiring people, it's creating people. Not followers, not fans, but leaders. And people are studying you even when you don't notice. And I didn't notice this email where somebody had recommended me, because that's the only way you can try to get into a TED Talk, is by somebody recommending you. And somebody from Kentucky suggested me into this TED Talk in Kentucky. And all this went into spam, and I didn't realize any of this until finally I got this lovely message in my spam folder saying, "Are you coming?" And I'm like, "Am I coming to what?" Then I come to find out that I'm actually a featured speaker at a TED Talk in Georgetown, Kentucky this weekend. Yeah, nothing like, finding out last minute, right? This is exciting. I'm excited. I'm thoroughly excited about this. I mean, I'm just like, woo, yeah. And why? Why? Anyways, I'm excited about this. So, you know, this is truly exciting. And you know what it shows? It shows that life is starting to shift into a season where our voices can get louder. See, my resilience has been strengthening over the years. My discipline has been challenging me over the years. And my consistency being at 182 days, this is it. So this is a phenomenal evening. And you know what? This weekend, I found out that it's hit me in the chest that I'm speaking at a TED event. Not next year, not someday, not one day, but this weekend. It wasn't planned. It wasn't on, I wanted to do it someday. In fact, I tried last year. Then I was one of like a few people selected. I was like a backup speaker in case somebody didn't show up, but I didn't, you know, get to be there. I didn't get the invite and said, "Hey, be there." I didn't get the actual lineup on the website that's, "Hey, here you are. You're boom right there." I didn't get any of that. And it wasn't something I chased. In fact, I didn't even know anything about it until last night. And it was kind of hilarious because of the fact I'm like, is this something I'm supposed to be at? And the guy says, yes, you are. Your main event. Oh, okay. So this is something my influence attracted. Because when you live aligned, opportunities don't just knock, they gravitate. And then the other thing is I was invited to an AI summit, talk about AI, which is kind of bizarre because of the fact that I set up my AI. And the only reason I found this is because my AI pulled it out and said, hey, you might want to look at this before you delete all the spam. So it's like, hey, this is actually cool. So it's like, we got TEDx, we got AI Summit, and then we got August 15th in Atlanta. Woo! What an excellent thing. And we're not going to talk about, the other three events that I'm supposed to be at. No, those aren't nothing compared to these things, in my opinion. I mean, these things are huge, huge. They're gigundo. But you know what? This is it. This is all completely different worlds, but they have one message in common. And that message is human power still matters. Your influence still matters. Your leadership still matters. And while AI can automate tasks, it can't automate impact. It can't automate character. It can't automate the kind of influence that creates leaders. It can't go through the same type of challenges that you and I go through. Because most people think leadership is about what you say. But the truth is, leadership is built in those quiet moments. Those quiet moments that you're spending in the gym working out. Those quiet moments you're spending in the library studying for your next test. Those quiet moments you spend sitting in your room reading, studying your next book. Those quiet moments when you're just focusing on you and your dreams. Because you know what? Someone is going to become more patient because you learned patience. Someone is becoming more courageous because you stopped shrinking and stood up. Someone is becoming more disciplined because you finally decided to take your life seriously. And your influence is not casual. What's through here?
I have work tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't know if it's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. or 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. I don't know. I will figure that out.
Well, where at? Taco Bell or
Taco
Dog?
Bell.
Yeah.
I don't know which one.
You best find out, sweetheart.
Oh,
But being a
wait, I have
teenager,
a phone right here.
you shouldn't be out after 9 p.m.
Well, I don't know what time. I don't get to choose my times.
Yeah, well, you're still a teenager. You're not supposed to be out after 9 p.m. So, anyways, see, what happens is somebody's becoming more disciplined because you finally decided to take your life seriously.
9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
All right.
Wake me up at 7.
And you know what? Your life, your influence isn't casual. It's not accidental, and it's not small. Because you're shaping people. With your habits. You're building leaders with your decisions. You're raising standards with your movement. And this is why TED Talks matter at times. This is why the AI summits matter at times. This is why our voices are needed, because sometimes they're pulled onto bigger stages. Because you know what? I didn't mean to speak electrician there. Get it? What's happening? Bad joke, right? I won't go into my airplane jokes because they never take off. But you know what? People don't follow words. They follow your reflection. What that means is they see you doing something. And then they start to believe that if you can do it, I can do it. They see that you're able to follow through. And they believe that if you can do it, they can do it. Because what happens is every seed you plant will grow in someone else's life. And that seed is a habit. Every habit you work on, every habit you plant that somebody else sees you start to work on in your life is going to grow in theirs, because they're going to say, you know what? If he can do it, I can do it. Les Brown talks about how back in the 1950s, nobody ever ran a 4-minute mile. Nobody. Until one guy made a decision that he's going to do it. And he did it. And that for all of history, nobody has ever ran a 4-minute mile. And then once he ran it, within a year, 20 other people did the same thing. Why? Because people don't follow words, they follow your reflection. They follow what you can do. They saw somebody else run the 4-minute mile, and they believe that, well, hey, if he can do it, I can do it. And that spark becomes somebody else's flame. That spark is what can try and start a chain reaction for other people to run the 4-minute mile. That spark can start the chain reaction in other people losing 100 pounds. That spark can start a chain reaction in going back to school and getting your diploma. Or starting the spark to get off drugs. Or starting the spark to get off cigarettes. Or starting the spark to get off alcohol. Or starting the spark to go to college. Or starting the spark to start your own business. Because what happens is your breakthrough becomes somebody else's pathway. Once you become that trendsetter, once you become that pathway breaker, once you become that person that lays the groundwork for that path, someone else is going to follow you down that path. It's like watching, I'm sure you guys have seen the videos where somebody takes and carves out a little spot in a beach. What? Carves out a little.
Let me check.
Carves out a little spot in a beach between a pond and the ocean, and they use their hands to carve out a line from the pond to the ocean until finally the pond starts draining into the ocean. And it's just a small little trickle of water just flowing through that little carved out spot with his hand. But then it starts getting bigger and bigger
To proceed with your
and
request,
bigger.
I need further clarification on how you would like me to use this phrase, not the beach. Are we looking for a location suggestion that differs from beaches? Do you want creative ideas unrelated to coastal settings instead of actual seaside locations, or vice versa? If you're seeking an alternative activity rather than going to the beach due to weather conditions, please specify what kind. If it's about planning something and avoiding sandy environments altogether as your goal, perhaps because they are crowded, let me know so I can assist you accordingly. Please provide additional context for a more tailored response that meets your needs or objectives related to not the beach.
Hey, Rye, just say hi to everybody because, well, I'm in the middle of my live and you decided to start talking. So please be quiet. You hear that? Thank you. Sorry about that, folks. That was my AI that lined up and got me on TEDx this weekend. Anyways, what happens is with that beach, with that little crevice, water flows. Eventually, as the video goes, you see a huge river flowing, and people are out there on boogie boards and they're doing a whole 9 yards. You're just seeing water flow like crazy. What happens is that spark, that breakthrough, becomes a tremendous pathway for others to follow. And what starts as a trickle becomes a full raging river. And that creates stability. That stability becomes somebody else's safety net because they see you be able to do it and say, well, you know what? That person's got so many other challenges in their life. That person filed bankruptcy. That person almost died from COVID. That person almost died from sepsis. That person there went through 3 divorces. That person there, survived cancer. That person there never graduated high school. That person there overdosed on drugs and survived. That person there was in prison. And if they can do it, I can do it. So what happens is your stability, your direction becomes somebody else's guidance. Your struggle becomes their strength. And we're talking strength training. I mean, you don't go to the gym and just lift the weights just one time and think you're going to be, Mr. Universe like Arnold. No, 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 no. You got to go there and lift the weights every day, 5 and 6 and 10 times a day, each time. That's called strength training. You got to do the same thing with your mind. You got to train your mind. You got to use your mindset and train your mind to try and focus on things. Overcoming those struggles, withstanding those struggles. Because those struggles are what becomes somebody else's strength training. And that consistency becomes somebody else's navigation. They see you struggling and they realize that, hey, you know what? Life isn't easy, but I know what to expect. And if they can do it, I can do it. And so what happens is your discipline, your consistency, your struggle all becomes somebody else's design. They take that as their blueprint and they apply it to themselves. And they input their goals and their dreams in there, saying, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. Because when you raise your standards, you raise your value. And people see that. They hear it. They feel it. And they want to follow it. Because they want to follow it. Because they want their dreams too. They see you having, and they want it. They see you working towards it, and they realize they can do it. And you know what? This AI summit that I'm going to be at, I'm going to be talking about something most people overlook. And while AI is powerful, as we notice that she just breaks in and starts talking, it can't replace human leadership. See, while she's listening to our conversation, she doesn't realize that I'm actually here talking to you guys. She thinks I'm wanting to talk about beaches. And she doesn't understand the context. It cannot process destiny. It just creates content. She can't create character. She can just create patterns. And she can't predict the impact of the human who decides to rise. And while I firmly believe that the future will belong to people who know how to use AI, but those people will be even better leaders when they lead humans instead of AI. And that's you. Because the things that you do in your life build people up. Things you do in your life show people how to overcome your struggles. The things you do in your life help people create the blueprints for their success. Because where AI is all global and everything like that, and it's the major influence that's out there, leadership, true leadership, becomes legacy. Because no matter what, you're still going to need the human interaction. AI doesn't recognize that. Because see, AI doesn't see the movement that we can attract. I didn't chase this TEDx stage. Somebody suggested me to it, and I'm honored. I'm highly honored. But you know what? It's the movement that attracted it. It's the mindset that attracted it. Because when your influence creates leaders, the world starts paying attention. And while everything you do out there, people take notice. People see. People pay attention. They watch you struggle. They watch you be resilient. They watch you overcome. They watch you own your stories. And they watch you win. See, regardless whether you believe it or not, your influence is creating leaders. Whether it's talking to the people in your work office, whether it's talking to the people in your group, in your gaming organization, whether you talk to the people in your family, whether you talk to the people in your AAA meeting, whether you talk to the people in the hospital, whether you talk to your neighbors, whether you talk to your friends. whether you talk to the people on the bus around you. Your influence is creating leaders by the struggles you go through, by the struggles you tell them about, and how you overcame them, how you withstood those struggles, how you withstood those problems, how you withstood those challenges, how you've owned those stories, how you've owned those solutions, and how you've won. Because you know what? You have withstood more than people know. You have owned more than people seen. And it's a time now to win in a way that nobody can ignore. It's time to step up with your legs quivering, your hands shaking, and your voice cracking. Step up and make your next move your loudest one yet. Overcome that fear, because your season is shifting and the world is finally hearing you.